Did you know that the origin of breastfeeding dates back to the earliest mammals over 200 million years ago? Ancient mammalian ancestors developed mammary glands thought to have evolved from sweat glands as a way to nourish their offspring. This adaptation ensures survival by providing a consistent and nutrient-rich food source, even in the harsh environment conditions. Breastfeeding has since become a universal trait of all mammal species, which symbolizes the deep evolutionary bond between a mother and its child. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Strength Classroom. Today, I am showing you my dynamic effort lower body workout, just warming up with some shit for my hips. Didn't really feel like doing some explosive stuff, so I'm like, you know what? Let's do some shit for my hips. So, I did some sets for a few reps. Let's just put it that way. I don't really remember how much I did or how long I did them for. It was about 5 minutes of pretty much non-stop variations. But you don't need to see that. That's just so I could say my ridiculous intro about breastfeeding. So here is the main work of the day. Set a timer for about 10 minutes, just because it's heavier. But I still wanted the work to be dense. So sumo deadlifts, you get 315 pounds on the bar, about 100-ish, 35 to 40 pounds of bands on the bar. And what you do, if you haven't been paying attention to the vlogs, this is also a method that I cover in my conditioning ebook. If you want to know how to program that, click on the description. I have my link to my stand store there. You can do it for upper body, lower body, but let me explain. You're basically going to set a timer, and you're going to do as many sets as you can within that timer. And you wave the weights up, and you wave the weights down, and you go so on and so forth. Or you keep the weights the same, and you can manipulate the time. There's a lot of different variables. If you want to get deep into the method, check out my ebook on my stand store. So the key here is as little rest as possible. But what else does this do? This method would be good for anyone, athlete, non-athlete, to help you get in shape. But the main application here that I came up with is technically it's for powerlifters, even though it does a whole bunch of other things. But what does it do? It helps you reinforce your setup. So I did 12 sets in 10 minutes. That's 24 total reps. I could probably do 3 to 4 sets and get the same amount of reps. But what I'm doing here is, because I'm doing so many sets in a lower period of time, it's building up my conditioning, yes, but it is also building up my setup. I'm setting up 12 different times. So I'm reinforcing my deadlift technique and my deadlift setup. You can do this for squat, bench, overhead press. You can do it for literally any lift that you like. It's just a method. It's not something that's associated with a certain exercise. And then I saw these on Instagram, and I'm not sure if I'm a fan of them or not. Jump squats where you alternate your feet. Maybe it's just because my adductor / groin strain is bothering me, but I don't know. I didn't really like it. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just not heavy enough. Let's have some light kettlebells in my hand. And then I went with that, and I liked it a little bit more, but not enough to be like, these need to be a mainstay in my exercise selection. There's many other things that I can replace, and maybe I'll try them completely unweighted, but this is something that has to go at the very, very beginning of a workout, maybe something for a warm-up, or the very, very end, where you're just pumping up your legs and your lungs. So maybe the problem wasn't the exercise, it was where I placed it in the actual workout. So we have B-stand squats here. For those of you that don't know, it's kind of like when your legs they're not fully apart like, let's say, a lunge or a split squat, but they're not together like a typical squat. So your back leg, you're going to be more so on the balls of your feet, and your front leg, you're going to be flat-footed like you normally would. Now this is very, very applicable for any type of grappler, wrestler, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever, because that bottom position is going to be a position you might find yourself in. and it's beneficial to strengthen that position. But not only does it do that, the average person that competes in zero sports, it really helps pump up your legs. It's a great squat variation. You could load it so many different ways. You could use a barbell, you can use a kettlebell, you can zercher, you can front squat, you can back squat, you can do double kettlebells, you could put the kettlebell over your head. Any way you would load a normal squat, you can load this in that fashion. Now here is a better angle. You can see my feet position. I hope. I see my ankles are cut off. But as you can see, can you? I don't know. Let's look at it together, boys. Yep, you can see fuck all. So I think the next angle does better, but I'm sure you can see that my feet are not square. Actually, I like to point my back leg out, like let's say to a 45, 60 degree angle, like to really externally rotate that hip. Now let's see, this is my last chance, boys. And hopefully you just see some sort of asymmetry at the hips. Of course. Okay, so I'll definitely do a better job of filming that. Maybe I'll put the camera completely on the floor, like the lowest possible setting on my tripod, just so you can see my foot position. And just to quickly rectify this, I'll probably get out a YouTube short as quickly as possible, just in case anyone's dying to see. And it might have been already uploaded by the time I have this video. Now, this is a full posterior chain developer. What we have here, we have kettlebell swings, right? But we also have high pulls at the same time. So I'm using a very explosive kettlebell swing, but then high pulling it at the top to hit my upper back. And then I'm like, let me just try something. I have explosive. I wanted to say explosive diarrhea so bad. I have explosive exercise for my traps. Now let's contrast that with a, let's say, higher tension exercise where it's like squeeze. And I'm not really a big fan of these squeezing exercises, so, you know, maybe it's not what I'm gonna do, you know. Rather just focus on the explosive stuff or the heavy stretch stuff, such as deadlifts. It's helped me so far. That might not be good advice for you. You might like high tension stuff. You stick to what works. Then single leg band hamstring curls. This is just to finish off the hamstrings. It's not a main builder, but there is high tension here. Peak tension. And I like to hold it just for like a fraction of a second at the top. Basically, I'm not holding it. I'm just getting the full contraction, let's say. But that's all for this workout. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great day.